All right, some of the best goals you would ever find in European football are there in the Dutch league. And for Ajax, they needed a result on the day, a win of by whatever margin, to seal the title. But on that final day, they could only, pick a point. And you could see the players falling on the pitch, destroyed, inconsolable, and all of that. That's football for you. You have to fight up to the very end. Emelibayo and Cosmos Chukwemeka have joined me on Sports Tonight. Guys, let's start with welcome. Let me welcome you guys to Sports Tonight. Yeah. Emi, let me start with you. Ajax were knocking on the door. They were ready for party. The champion was on ice. But
it just didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
It was one of those leagues
who do you blame for this?
It was one of those leagues where, you thought you had a winner by March. You thought you had a winner by April. I remember what happened to Barcelona in recent times, A few months ago, you just close your eyes and say, these guys are going to win. Honestly, I thought Ajax were going to win, but PSV did what they needed to do, and they're champions. And it's interesting to see that both clubs are managed by ex-Dutch internationals, players who've played the game to the highest level. The only other thing that I feel for Ajax, of late they've just become a nursery, so to speak, a grooming ground for talents.
For big clubs in Europe.
Yes, they are not able. At a point in time, Marco van Basten suggested that probably the Dutch league and the Belgian league should be, merged into one, because that's the only way they could compete with Spain. And it's interesting to see all these guys, but the irony is that next season they probably won't be.
That's true. It's not just about Ajax, it's about the Dutch league itself in its entirety. It's about the Dutch league itself. And the Belgian league...
It's lost its prestige,
that competitive edge.
It's not
and that's because of the big money in the major league. So these players just move to those major leagues. Cosmos, let's come to England very quickly. That's about the richest league in the world. It's arguable whether it's the best, because that argument will always go on and on. But there's a game currently going on which could impact very heavily on how the teams will finish in the top four at the end of the season. And that game is between West Ham and Manchester United. Cosmos, at the moment, it's 1-0 to West Ham. We're almost at half-time now.
Yeah, half-time actually. Goal at the 10th minute by Diafra Sakho. Of course, this game, this match is not just important when you look. It's not just important when you look at the fact that the both sides are trying to see how they can get into the Champions League.
West Ham are trying to get into Europa place.
Yeah, Europa
or
place.
seal their place in Europa place.
Manchester United
are thinking of getting to top four.
But it's an emotional one too, because this is the last game at the Bowling Ground, which everybody knows as the Upton Park. Last game, and West Ham
before they move to a bigger pitch.
Before they move to the Olympic Stadium, not too far from the Upton Park. So West Ham want to make sure that they leave Upton Park after about 110 years on high. So, of course, and you know how Manchester United are. They have been knocking on the door to get into that Champions League place. Of course, we know that Manchester City, for not beating Arsenal, have their fate will now be decided by the likes of West Ham and Manchester United, who are also trying to knock on the door to get into that Champions League place. So it's an interesting one. I mean, West Ham came firing, and before you know it, Diafra Sakho scored that goal in the 10th minute. And since then, the two sides have been trying as much as possible to score goals. I feel West Ham, we are the more better side. They know how to use their wing. I mean, Bilic has really done a great thing for that team. So basically, that just
it's going to be huge for United.
Yeah,
missing out on Champions League place, back to back.
It's going to be huge. A lot of people are saying that this game will probably determine the future of Louis van Gaal. His destiny is in his own hands. You have the FA Cup final, and you have a chance to qualify, irrespective of what happens with Manchester City. But this is going against the plot, as it is.
1-0 at halftime.
It's definitely going against plot. And today's match has been overshadowed by the attack on the Manchester United team boss, and the game was delayed a few minutes. I don't know if the players and the coach will say that had a role to play. I don't know.
So the attack boss is there too.
Yeah,
it's not just here.
I saw a lot of people post on Twitter that they've just taken us back to the Stone Age. I mean, hooliganism in football. I never thought in this time, in this
modern
era,
England,
that I'll see that happen in England. But going to the game, I do agree with Cosmos that the game has. The game is big for both teams. It's an emotional game. Louis van Gaal, on one hand, wants to salvage his season. Bilic, on one hand, has done so well, but he needs to give something to the fans, the loyal fans over the years. He needs to give some, and this is going to be their last game at the Upton Park, and maybe they're not just going to roll over. So we'll see all of that. But you know, I looked at this starting lineup for United. It was an ambitious starting lineup.
Very ambitious.
The manager,
Very ambitious.
The manager wants to get the results.
Yes.
And a lot of people feel if he doesn't do well today and he loses the FA Cup, I mean, there will be no negotiation.
There's somebody knocking on the
But
door.
it's going to be very difficult to kick him out if he gets you into that Champions League spot and he wins the FA Cup.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's go on from the games. We'll be updating you in our usual style. The game is 1-0 to West Ham at halftime. As we go on the show, once there's a change, we will update you. And in our tradition of making sure that you enjoy the best of two worlds, you are able to keep track of what is going on in the English Premier League, as well as keep track of what's going on in Nigeria, in the world of sports. All right, but let's go quickly to Mexico.
Yeah.
FIFA Congress is what everybody is talking about, and a lot of people are expecting a lot of things. Being the first General Assembly under
Post-Blatter era.
Yeah, post-Blatter, and under the era of Gianni Infantino. And people are expecting so much. Yeah, what are you looking forward to seeing at this Congress?
All talk has been the eradication of corruption, the fight
the revised statutes of FIFA.
The reforms. The reforms, basically. Preliminary meetings going on in Mexico as we speak, but the annual Congress.
Between the different confederations?
Yes, the annual Congress actually is going to start on Friday. A lot of interesting things, and you know, I must confess to you, it seems to me that some house cleaning is also still going on. Some top names in FIFA still having one or two issues to deal with as well, and you know, some people really want the reforms to go deep down in FIFA, because what people are saying, look, you have some top names, top officials in FIFA, they were in key positions when they wrote what's going on. A lot of people feel some of these guys, it's going to be same of the same. But Friday is going to be interesting. Preliminary meetings going on. Earlier you talked about, you know, likely people to replace Michel Platini. A lot of names being thrown up as well, and a lot will come to light in the days to come. But I'm very sure the fight against corruption is
key.
Is the
and
basis
the reforms.
of all this.
The reforms. Oh, yeah.
The reforms, basically, that reform, the revised FIFA statute was put into force on April 27th, just some weeks ago.